Ding ding.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Dude, oh, you guys got...
How are you, dude?
You guys got Pop Rocks?
Gordon, you know we do.
And Fago?
No, we do, dude. How
Do you
are
have,
you?
Do you have exotic snacks currently? Like all the Zaza shops here in Brooklyn that have opened up post-COVID? Do you know any... Have you seen this?
No, are they boutiques? Like,
They're all weed shops that have taken over any like thing that kind of closed around Williamsburg, and they all have the name Zaza in them or exotic, and there's one called Exotic Zaza too.
No.
And yeah, Exotic Zaza, that's the best one. And there's one every block. There's like two every block in Williamsburg. What am I saying? Just one.
There really is two.
Yeah, there's two. At least on between every single thing on Bedford and around. One just opened up across the street from my apartment. And it's pretty chill. So you should wind up turning this gas station here into a Zaza gas station.
I copy that.
You gotta sell Zaza. It's like low quality bodega weed. Because at first, yeah, exactly. That's what it is. So everyone calls weed Zaza now. Which, the pizza community isn't really excited about.
Yeah. Isn't there a confusion there?
Yeah, exactly. The pizza community is like, what, twice? What are you doing? What is going on here?
It's funny because there are some blocks where there's like 4 or 5 Zaza / pizza places.
Pizza, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you got nothing but Za and Zaza shops in Williamsburg.
No, there's one corner where there's 5 of these, I swear. And they're all thriving.
Yeah, I know. And then they all sell, which, you got to get here in the gas station. You got to get these foreign snacks that are like ketchup potato chips and shit. And like, just like weird flavored Doritos and like weird sodas, like this mango Pepsi and stuff I keep getting from over there. But they have the like cotton candy Fago, you know what I mean? Like all the whatever, but it's all TikTok stuff, right? Like, are you on TikTok? Do you do any
Yes.
TikTok stuff? Yeah,
A little.
okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Actually, I follow you. You're one of the few people I follow, dude.
Oh, hilarious. I don't really try hard on there. But
Dude, you're my favorite. Honestly, that's true. Wait, the snacks are based on...
yeah, so like there's like all these TikToks where people like review snacks that are from like Asia or whatever, and then they all try it.
Mukbang.
And
Like, they eat them.
They eat them, and then at the end they all go, bussin'.
Wait, they say bussin'?
Bussin' is the word you use when a foreign snack is really sick. Like, I saw this thing on TikTok where you take fruit roll-ups and you put a scoop of ice cream in the middle of it, and then you roll it up and you put it in the freezer for like 10 minutes, and then you eat it, and then you say, and you make a video obviously of you doing this, and then you say bussin' at the end. And that's the world right now.
That's great.
Yeah. So you got to get some foreign snacks in this gas station of yours.
Yeah, man. I've seen chips that are branded after like music stars.
Oh yeah, rap snacks, totally.
Yeah, there's like Future chips.
Yeah. Lil Wayne chips. That was, yeah. My friend who lived in New Orleans would bring those back as like Christmas presents. They'd be like, with like 3-6 Mafia on them and stuff. Rap snacks, yeah, classic. Classic.
Oh my god.
So what's going on? How are you?
Just chilling, dude. Just hanging out, How are you?
Good.
How are you doing, dude? How's business? How's life?
It's good. It's fun.
Tell me about it.
I've got this T-shirt thing that I do now.
Seriously.
And it's kind of popular on Instagram or whatever, and
amazing.
And it's like it started off as this goof of like taking this like Fish, Grateful Dead parking lot culture and
Lot
applying
life,
and
right?
Lot life.
You're laughing.
On Lot Live. Make sure you say on. It's like Long Island. You got to say on before it. But the goof was, because I used to go to these Fish shows when I was younger, right? When I was like 14, I went to like 7 Fish shows in a week, and at 14,
Wow.
Yeah. So those were the best.
I have a lot of follow up on that. I mean, wait, where were the 7 shows?
2 were in Hartford, 2 were in Camden, and then 2 were in Homedale, New Jersey. And this was June 28th through July 4th, summer 2000.
Oh my god! I applaud you, dude.
Yeah, this is 1.0 Fish.
Can you please elaborate?
So this is 1.0 before the breakup.
Okay.
And then they break up for a little bit in like 2000, just right after basically I see them, and then they come back for 2.0, and 2.0 lasts like a couple years or whatever, but then they kind of fizzle again, and then get back together in like 2009 I think or 2008, and that's 3.0, and they've been going strong 3.0. Now they're all sober. And that whole thing. So
didn't they get together and reunite at a manager's wedding?
That was like a thing. Yes. That's a famous like set that only 100 people got to see. And they played four songs, and people write about it in books.
That's like their holy grail. Their holy grail set. I don't know why I'm laughing.
So it's the best. Fish is the best. So I went to all these shows, and at 14 or whatever, and this.
I really admire that. I gotta say, like, I love it.
Well, Jackson, my brothers, who you know very well, they took me to Woodstock '99.
Oh my gosh!
They brought me to Woodstock.
Like?
That was pretty funny. We left after a day, but Brendan stayed the whole time. But Jackson and I were like, we are out of here. It sucked. Water was so expensive. There was no shelter anywhere. I haven't seen the documentary or whatever that's kind of popular, but
you lived it.
We lived it. Oh no. We lived it. Like, yeah, the story, like, I think, a thing that really sucked was like they offered free water, and then the porta potties like overflowed, and it was like a circle of porta potties around the free water thing, so they all overflowed, and you couldn't get free water anymore. And but it's like
that,
and like telling the story now, I'm like, I got to see Andy Dick and Sheryl Crow and DMX and Los Lobos and Oleander. You remember that song? I don't even know. And then we went.
How'd that go?
It was awesome. So it was really hot and crazy and stuff like that. And we didn't bring any money. We decided to go the night before. Amazing. And basically, like, now I know from going to these fish festivals and stuff like that, like, you got to get there like early and whatever. And you know, we
No,
went.
how'd that Oleander song go?
I forget.
Okay, all right,
I don't even remember. But do you remember that? I just remember the name.
Did you ever go to any of the huge fish fests? Like,
Yeah, so I went
Great Went.
Yeah, I went to It in 2003. The It Festival. The really cool one is the one from 1999 where they played from like midnight to sun up, like 8 hours. It was like 20 CDs back in the day. You know what I mean?
What's it called?
Yeah, Big Cypress was
Love
the
it.
fest.
I love it.
So anyway, but yeah, Woodstock '99 was a total shit show, and we left after a day. Jackson Brennan got to go see Metallica, and I went to go buy a T-shirt. Like that's my regret is like shit. I could have seen Metallica. But anyway, so I went.
That's okay. Don't regret that.
So I was used to these fish shows or whatever, and my mom was like fine with it because of the older bros taking me to stuff like beforehand. And so my buddy's dad was very wealthy, and he paid for us to take like not limos but like car services in 2000 from Manhattan into to Hartford, to New Jersey twice or four times, and Hartford, Connecticut. And then the guy would just drop us off, and we would just go get completely stoned and buy a bunch of T-shirts and stuff, and then come back, right, and hang out in the parking lot the whole time, right? And I saw this whole parking lot with goo balls, right? That's the fucking hilarious shit. Is the goo balls? We would try to go and find goo balls, which is, if you don't know, is like cereal. Like it's like munchies, cereal. It's like edibles before edibles were a thing, and it's like cereal and Rice Krispie treat-esque cereal bullshit, but like with weed Rice Krispie treats in it. So we'd try to go and get T-shirts. We'd buy a fuck ton of T-shirts and stuff like that, and all the T-shirts would be like these parody shirts of like brands and logos. People call them logo flips nowadays. So there'd be a lot of logo flips. Like I bought a shirt. Like they had a song called Bug. So somebody made like a mug root beer thing, but it said Bug, and it had a lyric on the bottom. And it would be these shirts that you could sell at the parking lot that didn't have pictures of the band and didn't say the name of the band, kind of thing. Yeah. They would just be these like inside joke kind of things, right? So I, a couple years ago, had this idea after I'd gone to a Dead show and saw that the culture now was like kind of back in full swing, but with like kind of hip kids, like Brooklyn dudes, like me. So I was like, oh shit, this isn't so crusty hippie anymore. It's a little hipper, So so I was like, oh shit, like imagine this existed for my favorite band, Steely Dan. So the goof was like, I'm gonna go to the Steely Dan shows outside of Bowery Ballroom, and I'm gonna sell bootleg T-shirts that don't say the band's name, that just have inside jokes. And so I made like 25 shirts or whatever, and like went and then started, and it was like of a shirt called a song called Glamour Profession, because I started collecting all these Steely Dan bootleg shirts from the 90s. And sick. I now own every single Steely Dan shirt that's ever been like created, which is like over 300 shirts or something insane now. Dude, Greg, my entire apartment is just T-shirts. It's fucked. I have 2 like dressers just dedicated to shirts, and then then I started making my own crazy goofball ironic T-shirts that like are inside jokes or whatever. And so I made this one, and I sold a couple of them, and I posted it on my Instagram or whatever, and some people started following. And then
what was the one?
It was of a shirt. It was a song called Glamour Profession. So I had like all the lyrics like kind of like mapped out in like a collage kind of thing. And because Glamour Profession is like the dirtiest, craziest fucking Steely Dan song that there is. It's about like this coke dealer like going from like weirdo to weirdo, and selling them fucking coke. So it's really dark and scary, but really cool. And It's on the album Gaucho. It's on the last. It's on like the last one of the like first era of Steely Dan. And
I really admire your passion for Steely Dan.
well, thank you so much. Well, you know, they're my favorite or whatever. And I guess I get a little obsessed over stuff or whatever. I guess to say the least. Remember when I was playing Pokemon for 2 years, right?
Hey. Yeah, we got a quick time out. I wanted to ask you about that. Like, are you catching any any Pokemon?
No, not anymore. So I reached level 40. So, oh, you don't know what that means? No. I reached level 40, which was like at the time the highest you could get in the game, which meant I spent 10,000 hours and $10,000 on the game. So I finally got it. I grinded my way up to level 40 on double XP days. No, that's not even funny. That's too inside baseball to be funny. And I was hanging out with all these kids who played Pokemon who I didn't even really like. I was like, so I started this Facebook group. You know, I started this Facebook group to try because the game changed. And
that sounds hilarious. You're like, the game changed, Greg.
The game changed, right? So when we made that video of you and me catching Pokemon, like.
Yeah, what year was that? That was Pokemon Go in like 2014 maybe or something, 2015.
And,
go on.
And part of the reason why I got so into it was because of that fucking video. So I was like, I got to keep up with this. I'm like really, I've spent a lot of time on this. I'm going to spend more time on it. And the game changed and it started being this thing where you had to meet up with people in order to get these really sick mon. And you had to like fucking train, like you had to go out, find the cool guys that worked against these other guys, and then like organize meetups with kids. So I started going out and finding people playing it and adding them to my Facebook group, and eventually we got to like 100 fucking people in Williamsburg who were all playing this game, like 7-year-olds to 70-year-olds. Like, we were all walking around with me at the fucking helm, like, come on guys, let's go, I know a shortcut. Right? Like, we'll get to this street art faster this way. And then we would go and we would all like tap on our phone, fight these guys, because the more people you had, the better it was. And then it became this whole thing about like getting the perfect ones. So then we would just, like a slot machine, start putting $20 in to get these, like, passes to do this fucking thing. So we could get the sickest shit. So I wind up spending so much money on it. But my fucking Pokemon thing, which I don't play anymore, is, like, the best. It's great. It's got 100% perfect genetic mon all day. So I spent a lot of time on it. I got to level 40, and it was crazy. And I was like driving around with these girls and like we went to the Bronx one time and like, you know what I mean, just to catch these things. We were driving around. And I wasn't hanging out with my friends, and everybody at my job was like, "What are you doing?" Because I would just do it at my job all day. And anyway, so I
what happened in the Bronx.
We were able to get like another sick hundo% mon shiny, hoping for a shiny. A shiny, like, that is based on like you get the holographic card that's like special and rare in the packs. So they applied that to the game. By 1 in a million, one of these Pokemon would be shiny and different. Oh. So your boy was obsessed with the shinies and became obsessed with the shinies. And I traveled for my job, you know. Yeah. I was doing that photo booth thing, and it was me traveling all over the world, you know, all over the country, and sometimes, you know, in Europe. So I was able to get these like European ones and shit, and then, like ones you could only get in Florida and stuff. So I was so obsessed with it, and and then I kind of reached the top level and kind of was like, this is fucking crazy. I gotta stop doing this.
You had to retire because
had
you
to
were
retire.
leading people. You were leading people through the streets
I-
to find Pokemon.
Yes. It was a rainbow coalition of young and old, black and white. It was amazing. It was
Were you
like
meeting people through the Facebook group in Europe and
no,
Florida.
no. It was a Williamsburg only Facebook group.
In Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, right? And we would find these kids tapping on their thing, and they would be like, do you want to join us and hang out with us and like meet up for these things? We're pretty fucking serious about it. And like we found a bunch of fucking kids who all worked from home. You know, they all worked from home so they could like run out and run down the street, you know, and like meet up for these fucking raid things so that we could all try to get 100% perfect Pokemon.
How does a raid go down?
So like you would like an egg shows up on like a piece of street art somewhere, like, you know, like
Oh yeah.
whatchamacallit was a gym. They would be at these gyms, and I live next to a gym. I explained all this in the video that we made.
Oh god.
Right. So I lived on a gym, so everybody tried to take my shit down because I was constantly like, I got into a fight with this kid. I almost fucking fought these two kids because they started like their own Facebook group. And we're trying to like steal all my dudes and shit like that. And like I kicked one guy out of the Facebook group, so he wanted to fight me. It was fucking. That was another reason why I quit, because I was like, this is just. I'm 30 and I'm gonna fight this dude over fucking Pokemon. I can't do this anymore.
Oh my god.
So it was fucking crazy. But anyway,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that happened.
it was so sick. This was like a dude from Williamsburg who had grown up here, and he was like talking about like it was everybody from the area, little hip kids, you know, like fucking like 12-year-old kids on razor scooters, old dudes who like wanted to play and walk and use it for exercise and stuff like that. Like tech bros, you know, like some guy who worked for Vice or whatever the fuck, you know, like, you know, just cool.
And you were like their leader. You were like an icon, or pillar of the community.
I was the leader.
Oh my god, dude! Like, first of all, I had no idea that the video we made like put any of that on you. Like, I had no idea, and so I'm sorry you took on the stress and challenges of being the leader.
I know. I was. Well, whatever. It was pretty fun.
Do you get calls to come out of retirement? Like, are you tempted to go
I run
out?
into this one kid all the time, and he doesn't play anymore. The two kids that I almost got into a fight with, they moved out of Williamsburg. I heard that. But I'm Facebook friends with a couple, Instagram buddies with a couple of them still. And I run into this one kid, the coolest kid, the kid I like the most out of all of them. I run into him all the time. In the area. So, yeah.
Dude, so like my wife and I live in a new area, and we live in a giant forest, and she was like, see if Gordon would want to come play.
And play Pokemon over there.
Do you get that all the time?
No. So you need like the street art. You need the street art. You need, forests are no good.
There's no gyms.
Yeah, there's no gyms. But yeah, they would. You would need everybody to come and like meet up at the same time, and like it would be like, come on, you gotta have like go out and get good shit, dude. Why aren't you doing smaller raids to get the fucking guy who could take down this guy the fastest? And it was like there were moments when like somebody would get kicked out because their internet got fucked up, and then like we would all finish the raid and be like, sorry, like you can't do it now, and they'd be like, I paid $1 for that thing. What the fuck? And like, oh man, and like everyone would it started getting dark and fucked up. At first it was really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, so Fish, right? These fucking bootleg t-shirts at the Fish lot were the shit. I loved them, whatever. I go to Dead & Co. Dead & Co. becomes a thing with John Mayer, right?
Yeah.
So my buddy goes, do you want to go to one of these shows? And I'm like, all right, sure. And I'm like, I've been listening I like the Dead, but I'm not like a psycho about it, right?
Did you like John Mayer?
No.
And you didn't like the Dead like you like Fish, obviously.
Exactly. I really like Fish. I've gone to a bunch of Fish shows and stuff like that, sought out the Fish thing, got the Fish books, got the Fish shirts, got all the shit.
And yet somehow the Dead was like, you're like, that's completely different. That's not.
It is! It's different! It's like country and slower tunes and more acoustic kind of vibes or whatever.
I hear you, dude.
Um,
I'm hip.
You know,
really
lyric heavy, you know, poetry, cool lyrics is shit, you know. Where Fish has got kind of silly lyrics. But more sort of like jazz chops or whatever, you know, more sort
Dead?
of no, in Fish is what I'm saying, right? So which is more like Frank Zappa or something like that, which is like, you know, kind of what I'm into, right? More than a country thing or something like that, a folk kind of vibe or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you know, so my friends like, let's go, and I'm like, okay, great, you know. And
was it the same friend who went to see Fish with you for a full week?
No, not that kid. With that kid and I fell out of touch. Okay. But this was another friend who went to Fish shows with me.
It's a shame.
I know. We fell out. Oh, but here's the story. So I've been doing. You know, so I do this T-shirt thing now. Whatever. It's doing well. Whatever. And all these Fish kids really like it.
I love it.
And the Fish kids fucking really love it. And I did a pop-up shop. That was synonymous at the same time as a Fish 4-day run at MSG, right? So all these people were in town to see Fish, and I did a pop-up shop and, you know, sold my shirts or whatever. And the kid showed up. My buddy showed up, and he was that kid who was my friend that I went to all the Fish shows, and he had no idea it was me doing the shirt thing. He was just like, I'm just here to see the cool Double Wonderful thing. And I was like, no fucking way, dude. Hey, yeah, it's me. What's up? Haven't seen you.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God, this kid, I hope he doesn't listen to this. I don't think he follows me that closely. But oh my God, this dude's dad, dude. I remember the first time I went over his house, right? He like took me to the refrigerator, and he's like, dude, you see this needle? There was like a syringe in the refrigerator, and I was like, yeah, what the fuck is that? And he goes, my dad can't use regular Viagra, so he shoots this into his fucking dick.
No.
Anyway. So just to give you an idea, they were crazy, but he could afford crazy dick pills, like, you know. So anyway, so we went to a bunch of shows. Anyway, so I was like, look, if this thing existed for Steely Dan, I would flip out. So I started going to the Steely Dan concerts and selling them outside the thing. Basically to pay for the tickets to go to more Steely Dan concerts. And because they'll do a whole week at Beacon Theater kind of thing. Or would, right? Mm. So I stood outside and got some more followers on my Instagram. A couple people were like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing here? But they got it. It was all the young kids. It was all the young folks at the show. Were like, oh, this is cool. This is cooler than the merch that they have inside. And so the thing I did after that was like, I was really admiring all these Grateful Dead t-shirt guys. So I started getting really super into Grateful Dead t-shirts and sort of like studying them and you know, trying to make Grateful Dead t-shirt stuff, inside joke stuff for a Steely Dan design or whatever. Yeah. And so I made one. The second one that I made had Donald Fagen's head made to look like the Steely, which is the Grateful Dead skull, right? That's what it's really called, the Steely.
Hang on. Time out.
Right? You're fucking cool. You know. Steelies. So So steal your face, right, is like the fucking lyric, right? Steal your face right off your head. And then anyway, so that's what it says, like on all the shirts, is steal your face, right? So there was this dude, there's this guy on Instagram that I really admired and really liked his stuff. It was called Dean's Nuts.
Okay.
And his name is Jeremy Dean, but his Instagram was Dean's Nuts. And he made a bootleg that was the Steely with another Steely inside of it, and then inside that one was the Black Flag logo, and it said, "We can discover the wonders of Black Flag," like goofing on the lyric, "We can discover the wonders of nature" by Grateful Dead, which is a lyric, right? But it said, "We can discover the wonders of Black Flag." So I was like, I'm not a huge Black Flag guy, but I was like, man, like, if that was like Michael McDonald, you know, who has sung the very classic backup vocals on you know, all these Steely Dan songs, all these famous Steely Dan songs like Peg and everything. I was like, okay.
Yeah, Michael McDonald.
So I was like, okay, it's going to be Michael McDonald inside of a Steely, which is inside of a Donald Fagen head Steely. Oh. And it just looks insane. And then on the bottom of the shirt is going to be a list of all the songs that he sang backup on.
Amazing.
So it was this crazy shirt. It was crazy. Dean's Nuts, though, eventually found it. And was like, okay, I got to get one of these. And
Shout out to Jeremy.
And he shared it on his Instagram. And Jeremy does official designs for the Grateful Dead. Because he started off doing these bootlegs. And then Mayer found it. And then Mayer got him a real gig.
Wow.
And so Jeremy shares it. So who starts following me but John fucking Mayer?
Oh, God.
So I hit him up and I'm like, hey, let me know if you want a shirt. Like kissy face emoji.
Oh my God. Is that, wait, what did you say? You're like, sup, bitch. You're like, what up?
What up, Mayor? I was like, yo, JM, what's good? Thanks for the follow.
Mayor Slayer.
And I'm like, let me know if you want a tea, kissy face emoji. Like,
that's amazing.
You know, like, you know, like, what do I got to lose? And he was like, yeah, let me know. Here's my 90210 address.
No.
And I'm like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, are you a Steely Dan fan or whatever? And he's like, he used a word that, like, I didn't even know. He was like, burgeoning. Like, and I was like, ooh, smarty pants. Like, fucking burgeoning fan.
You're like, okay.
I was like, okay. And I'm like, do you know, like, this album and this album? And, like, he didn't really respond back. Right? So I'm like, we're buds now. And
burgeoning.
Yeah, burgeoning. We're burgeoning buds. And he's like, can you send me a couple extras for my boy John Hamm?
You're kidding. He didn't say that.
Swear to fucking God. And I'm like, you got it. You and Ham are buds. California is the best. You guys, 90210. So I'm like, okay. So I send Mayer this huge package. And at the same exact time, I'm really good friends, which you know, with Kate formerly from Saturday Night Live. She's from my hometown.
Kate McKinnon.
And my wife and her are best friends. So Kate has done some favors for me by wearing my t-shirts on Saturday Night Live.
That is amazing. Okay, like, you're obviously, like, close with her, so you know, but she's amazing.
Yeah. She's the best, right?
Yeah.
And she's just, you know, done nothing but hook it up and helping, you know, all the time.
So good.
And so she wore it on this Christmas episode, and a bunch of people found it just before Mayer shared it. Mayer hadn't shared it yet, but he was like, I'm going to do it. And after I sent it to him, right? And but then Kate wore it on Saturday Night Live and like beat him to it, and everybody was like finding it because of Kate. And then like a week later, Mayer fucking did it, right? So we like put it up for sale, and like it was gangbusters. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I got all these followers because of the Mayer bump and everything like that, and it's just been sort of spiraling ever since. And eventually, it got to the point where Fish hit me up to do an official fucking T-shirt last summer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal.
I know, after all this, right? The goo balls and everything. They hit me up to do a shirt, and then Ween. They have like
God.
similar representation and people like whatever. So
Wow.
Ween eventually got to me, and I just did the poster for fucking Ween, and Ween is another one of my favorite fucking bands in the whole world. Tim Heidecker found me. I did the thing for Tim. You know, if you know me, you know how much I love the fucking Tim Heidecker shit. We had my own public access show, and you know, Maddie Beans, such showing a Rafifi.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So
did you meet Tim and DJ Doug Pound?
Yes, I did. Yeah. So and Vic Berger too. So I went to the
Vic Berger.
So I went to the show and hung with them and gave Tim a bunch of shirts. And now the whole thing was Brendan, my brother, played with them. Yes. And Matt Carlin is the dude who does their from Logjam, right? Yeah. He's their producer on their show. Amazing. So Small World, Brendan and Jackson played their fucking wedding. So I hit up. Yeah, when I talked to him, like, it was, long story short, they found me or whatever, and when they found me, I was like, yo, are you the dude from Logjam? And he was like, his jaw fucking dropped. He was like, how the fuck do you know that? Like, what? And I'm like, my brothers played your wedding. And he's like, what? You know? And it was like, this is the smallest world in the entire, this is so crazy. So, instant fucking nerves gone kind of thing. Like, it's like, oh, cool. Everybody knows each other. So, got to do the thing. Met Tim. Tim, the best was, I was like, you know my brother. And he was like, what? And I'm like, oh, he played with you at this thing, and he was in the band with the Logjam guys. And he was like, I wouldn't say I know him. It's like, cool. Oh, sick. Right. Fuck me. I'm a fucking idiot.
That is phenomenal. Dude, what was it like when Fish reached out to you?
Oh, I mean, I was just sort of like, are you fucking kidding? This is it. This is it. I'm really hoping they hit me up again. They're doing a whole thing for MSG. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna hit me. I'm like worried they're not gonna hit me up. I don't think they're gonna hit me up again. Even though the shirt did really, really well last time or whatever. They have a whole thing coming up this year at MSG. So I'm really hoping they hit me up. But last time they hit me up to do the Jones Beach show on Long Island. So Long Island boy, Island boy. On Lot Life. I'm an island boy from Lot Life and on Lot Life, and so I was super pumped. I was like, I've seen Fish there like 4 times. I would love to do the Jones Beach one. It's the only like Long Island fucking venue. So, had some good times, ate some good goo balls out there on the Jones Beach lot before, so I was really pumped. And
when they called you, was it like, hey Gordon, it's Trey. We have Bob Weir's on the line.
Bob Weir's it's Trey and John from Fish. What's good? Just wanted to know if you wanted to wash your feet.
Yeah.
For some reason, they kept saying that when... No, that's like such an inside baseball bullshit. That's so annoying. Do you know that song? Do you know that Fish song where they do that?
Let me get back to you. Wait. Do it one more time.
Did you meet Pink? Wait, what?
What's it called?
That song is called "You Enjoy Myself." It's
Right.
it's like it's the Stairway to Heaven of Fish. You know, it's like
yeah.
the one you have to know and love. Otherwise, you're a fucking fake. PHAKE.
Otherwise, get out of
Get the
my lake
fuck
house.
out of my fucking lake.
If you don't know that song,
Yeah, exactly.
get out of my yurt.
So they hit me up, and it's
Did you
just
meet
been this...
Paige? Did you meet the guy?
Oh, I wish. No.
And as far as like at what point? Because so it seems to me the original thing, you working with Mayer or getting in touch with him, is just like a mind effort, right?
Yeah, that was the best, right? So he shares the thing. He's like, I'm gonna keep the extra larges. I'm fuck John Hamm, and I was like, okay, you know, and you know, and then we've never talked since.
Oh,
That's it. It was during COVID. It was like at the beginning of COVID too. Everybody had all this fucking Trump bucks or Biden bucks or whatever, and fucking
looking to spend.
everybody wanted to spend.
He's like, here's my address.
Yeah, here's 90210. Right.
It speaks to your magnetism. All these things, like all these things we're talking about,
Yeah.
and certainly Mayor Slayer trusting you with his
I know.
address. Pretty funny.
So yeah, it's been this fun, cool thing. So I do these things like once a month. You can only get my shirt like once a month, but we make like 4 shirts now every month, and they're like a pre-order, and then you got to like wait a month to get it, kind of thing.
Amazing.
But all the shirts, then we make a couple extras, right, of everything, and then every like 6 months or whatever, we have one of these pop-up shops or like an extras sale, and everything kind of sells out. It's crazy.
I mean, it's
It's
double
called
wonderful.
Double Wonderful. It's Double Wonderful on Instagram.
I love that
and-
the guy showed up at your pop up and he didn't even realize.
He
it was
didn't even
you.
fucking know.
But dude, the double wonderful thing. What are you working on now? What sort of any Mayor Slayer? No,
No. So like,
I hope that Mayor gets in touch with you. And go on. No, what are you working on? What are you working on?
so I'll tell you, it's funny. I eventually wind up so the thing blew up. So I wind up reaching out to basically Dean's Nuts and going like, look, I need help. I've got too many orders, you know, and he owns a printing thing. So
Nuts. Dean's nuts. This guy really has it together.
he's the fucking shit. He's the best. And
Mr. Nuts.
Mr. Nuts. That's what I wrote to him when I sent him a letter. I was like, "Dear Mr. Nuts," with a, you know, I've, you know, it's, and the whole thing is like all these fish parking lots, right? Like everybody does nitrous,
Oh,
right? That's like
Yeah.
the big fun, crazy thing that everybody does. And I like the last time the only time I've like ever run into Dean's Nuts or whatever, I had like 2 balloons in my hands, kind of thing, and I was like, well, this is embarrassing, sir. You know, sorry, I'm gonna go back to huffing gasoline. You know, speaking of which, can we huff gas at this gas station here after the show? Do you have any paint laying around? We can silver paint. It's the silver one. It's the good one. But anyway, yeah. So like 2002 was this crazy year for me. Sales did well, and I made all these shirts for me and stuff like that. And I got married.
Yes,
So that was a really cool thing, and we had this really cool wedding that we like put together ourselves. And
phenomenal.
yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Huge.
And we went to this bachelor party thing, which was really fun. That's not really for everyone's ears, but for your ears, it's I don't know if Jackson Redden told you, it was just insane. It was the best. So
We'll circle back.
yeah, we'll circle back. And so yeah. So like it's just been this crazy year, and
How much shipping do you have to do? Like,
so like, you know, we just shipped out like 400 shirts kind of thing, which is a lot. Kind of a lot.
that's
from the 4,
awesome.
and those were all extras or whatever. So
That's amazing. And
Yeah,
I gotta
and we
tell
did-
you, your
Yeah.
fish shirt
Yeah.
was genius. It's so
thank you.
brilliant. The design. People can probably find your design online for
Yes,
the fish
you can see it, yeah.
official thing. And I said to your brother, I got to get 2 of these. This was when they ran. And your brother, this is typical. I'm only saying this because I feel like you'll laugh.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, we're gonna be swimming in these things." He was like, "I'm getting." He's like, "Dude, I'll grab you extras." And I'm just like, "No, you won't."
Yeah, no, and he didn't.
Yeah, they went. You probably. There was a limited run. We're not bootlegging.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's not mine. It's theirs.
I know, and it's really amazing because you're influenced by these band shirts the way you describe it, but you're also just like a genius artist / visual artist /
thank you.
musician, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you so much. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go along. But that's very sweet. Plus, Greg, I do everything on my phone, too. I don't use Photoshop. I design everything on my phone and basically do everything. I do all these recordings now on my phone and make all these little edits and movies on my phone and stuff like that because I went out and got the craziest iPhone that there is. And, I don't use Photoshop. I use nothing but free apps. I have to, watch a fucking commercial after I fucking make a save or whatever the fuck it is, like some, fucking game or whatever the fuck it is. Or, where you, build a house. You're, this old person and, you gotta, there's a flood coming. Do you know these fucking ads or these, fucking shitty games? Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I do. Can you really make money playing, Candy Crush?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's every ad I get now.
Yeah.
They're like, why aren't you playing Candy Crush for money yet, Greg? It's ridiculous, Greg. Dude, can you really make money? I don't know. We'll circle back on that too. But
Right.
Wait, so does Mr. Nuts, does he help
Yeah.
you with shipping and printing?
Yes, so that's what I was getting at. Is that he's got this company. They print all my stuff on the highest quality, coolest shit. They got this. All my stuff has got super, a lot of colors or whatever.
Yeah.
So they've got some amazing machine that can do 8 colors or whatever it is. So I always try to push the limits with colors and put as many on there as possible and whatever. And
It shows.
And then they ship it all for me too. So I don't have to, because I live in this small apartment, so I don't really have a way of keeping stock or whatever. We do pre-orders and just only make what people order kind of thing. And then we make a couple extra, typically only in size large because that's the most popular one. And then when we put those up, they all sell out in 5 minutes.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's all this Steely Dan goof stuff, but also I've done some movies. I did Twin Peaks stuff, David Lynch stuff, Curb Your Enthusiasm, fucking Seinfeld, fucking Elaine dancing. I made an Elaine, instead of the Seinfeld logo with the big circle, right? I just made it say Elaine in the same fucking font. You know what I mean? Just shit like that. Yeah. So it's good. I get to do whatever I fucking want, and all these fish kids fucking found it. So this is what it was. So I made this thing. I was just searching for any sort of Steely Dan reference I could make, and I made a shirt with Tony Soprano on it, with a fucking screenshot from when he sings "Dirty Work" in the 3rd season for 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And this shirt has been my most popular thing that I've ever made or whatever. And everybody wore it at Fish in Atlantic City because of New Jersey. And this kid told me this story about how he was wearing it, and he was like, some guy came up to him and was like, "Where'd you get that shirt?" And he's like, "Oh, it's Double Wonderful on Instagram or whatever." And he was like, "Okay, thanks." And then somebody came up to him and was like, "Do you know who that was? That was Fish's manager."
Oh.
So I heard that story, and then next thing you know, a year later, they hit me up. So
Yes.
so it was all because of this Tony Soprano shirt, which was super
Amazing.
popular. That was the first thing was I got a cease and desist from Michael McDonald. Oh no, hold on, let me back up. I should say, I made that Michael McDonald thing, right? And Michael McDonald's daughter found it.
Wow.
And she was like, I gotta get him one.
Amazing. She's like, my dad loves Steely. Steely's on Steely's on Steely's. Was that what she was like? And you were like, kiss your face.
And I was like, absolutely, we're making it. I had zero stock of it, but I was like, fuck it, we're making it again. And so I was like, look, I'll send you 10 of these things. All I want in return is a picture of your dad wearing it. And a couple weeks later, all of a sudden, I get this photo fucking sent to me of the two of them in the fucking shirts. And I'm like, no goddamn way. So I post it, but then the mayor thing happens and the Kate thing happens on SNL. So we try to sell it again. And Michael's people were like, no way. You can't do this. You know? So
you can't just send the lawyers the picture of him wearing the shirt.
I know, and go like, sorry, proof. This is all I need.
Like Double Jeopardy?
Yeah.
I think it's Double Jeopardy.
So like, yeah. So you're absolutely right. Yeah, fuck off.
We'll circle back on.
Right, we'll circle back. But this is all during COVID. This is all during the beginning of COVID. This is like May of the beginning of COVID, right? So people are like people are still like washing their fucking groceries and shit. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. Yeah. So you know, so I had a meeting with them.
With
and this? No, with Michael McDonald. With Michael McDonald.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Love it.
No, don't worry.
Please.
And so after they sent me a cease and desist, so they sent me a cease and desist, and I was like, okay, and I'm like, but they were like, we know you're a huge fan, so we're not gonna ruin you. You know what
Clearly,
I mean?
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It's the least you could do. I'm clearly a pretty big fan.
Yeah. So like, plus the daughter is buds with you, so we're not going to completely
Dude, she's probably obsessed with you.
They're like, we're not going to try to completely destroy your life, so because we have that power. We're people from Hollywood, and this is so
they're like, send a t-shirt to us for John Hamm. They're like, P.S. We need the Steely tea.
By the way, Ham needs couple. Come for him.
Run it.
Yeah. Fucking Sterling needs one. So I don't know that actor's name.
I don't know.
That's a Mad Men joke.
John Sterling.
Right, whatever. I don't even know. The guy with white hair on the show. I was trying to pick a Mad Men character. Anyway, so they're just like
So Michael McDonald.
Yeah, so they shut that shit down real quick.
That was done.
But then a couple months later, I did the Sopranos one, and it completely destroyed.
So I'm picturing, because don't they play in like an Air Force base, like in a field in AC?
Who?
Fish?
No, yeah. No, they'll play on the boardwalk of Atlantic City, right on the beach and everything.
How amazing is that?
I know. I've never been, actually, but I can only imagine. Yeah, I've never been to the Atlantic City ones. No. I keep the New York ones.
Yeah.
I like an easy train ride.
Except for the week when you did cross state lines.
Yeah, but I was driven there. Somebody else paid for the rides, so I just tagged along, and the tickets too. So I tagged along.
Times.
Good times.
Classic.
Real good times.
Dude.
But that IT festival that I went to was all the way at Limestone, Maine. We drove 15 hours when we were like 17 in a car that was like fucking breaking down.
So how many people are with you when you made that ride?
That was just me and my buddy Sam.
So there's the two of you, and
we go up to Limestone, Maine, and we get there like 3 days before the festival even starts just to get a good parking spot. And then we lived out of our car for like 3 days in a parking lot, and then the festival began. You know, we learned from Woodstock. I learned from Woodstock. Like, you got to get there early. Because I was going to say that before. Like, Brendan and Jackson, when we got to fucking, we're like, we're just chilling in the parking lot listening to Dave Matthews now. Like, I don't know why would we go in yet, you know? Oh, because when we got to Woodstock, right, they were like, yeah, your tent is going to be 2 miles away from the stage. You're going to have to walk as far as fucking possible. So I realized, so we thought about that beforehand at the Fish show, and I was like, all right, we're going to get there super early when the gates open, you know, so we can get the closest parking spot. And we got like a special CD because we were like the first like 10,000 people in or whatever. It was crazy.
Like their wedding set, their reunion set. No, this was before that though.
Right, exactly.
What's the thesis that Trey made?
No, that was post. That was
Stonehenge?
post. Gamehenge. Very good.
They gave you Gamehenge.
They gave me Gamehenge. They gave me the original notebook. And they to the first 10,000 pages.
We could do a pod just on Gamehenge.
It's the best. We would kill. Do you know how much that would kill? I've got this audience that would fucking kill for that. 2 people goofing on Gamehenge. Goofhedge. Perfect. So, yeah, fucking. I mean,
amazing.
Yeah, so it's just been this wild. So the Sopranos thing was crazy, and then AC, and then AC, and then we've just been rolling with it and just like, well, yeah, like because I'm obsessed and I know all the details and stuff like that, right? So I post something where I'm like, oh, I think like 5 people are gonna like this, and then like 100 people buy it or whatever. It's crazy.
That is phenomenal. I mean,
yeah.
Now you're in front of the Steely Dan heads, the Fish heads, the Dead & Co heads.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing is that, like, I kind of have, like, made every one of these Deadhead, Fishhead kids kind of, like, consider Steely Dan, like, a jam band, even though they're not. You cannot dance at a Steely Dan show. You're not allowed to stand up. You have to sit down the whole time. And, like, you cannot hippie dance, you know? Like, that is forbidden at a Steely Dan show. So, because I've had all these kids like try to go to the shows, and they're like, "What the fuck? This is nothing like what you said it was gonna be like."
They come to you?
Yeah. They're like, "Yo, I got all your shirts and I wore it to the show and I wanted to hippie dance and nobody would let me. I couldn't stand up. It was like a Broadway show. What the fuck?" So, yeah, I know.
They're like, hey, Gordon, WTF? I wanted to hippie dance. I bought all your clothes. Why couldn't I dance like the Allman Brothers show?
Yeah, exactly.
They wanted to hippie dance. That's incredible.
I know. So,
I mean, does Steely Dan play in fields where people can hippie dance?
A little bit, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure they play like Beacon Theater, like theaters, like that sort of thing. And so, like,
there's a lot of people mad at you.
There's a lot of people mad at you. I remember one time I like went like, woo! When they had said they were gonna play some song, and I remember the guy in front of me going like, oh, grabbing his ears, like, no! Somebody screamed at a rock concert. Oh my god! Right, there's like that show where Jackson and Brendan went, and they're like at the Sheryl Crow song thing, and they know all the fucking words or whatever, and they're standing up, freaking out, and someone's like, "Can you sit down?" And I guess one of them turns to them and is like, "Have you ever been to a fucking show before?" It's Sheryl Crow. It is not a punk rock band. It is not heavy rock and roll. And meanwhile, they're treating it exactly. They're treating it like it's freak out time. So, yeah. So anyway, 2023. What do I got in store? I hopefully some more bands that I've already done stuff for reach out to me again to do some more stuff. That'd be really cool.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully I kind of make this shit up on the fly, so hopefully I have another cool idea in the next month that people like as much as Tony Soprano or whatever. I don't know.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, look, This trip here today is going to inspire you. Will you come back again? Will you
Of
promise
course.
now? Okay,
Of
you made a
course.
promise. That means
This is the easiest thing he's ever. I called you and said I want to be on this podcast. I don't know.
That's true. I have the receipts. Thank you for asking.
Of course. So yeah, I don't know.
What else is going on? What anything this weekend?
Fuck. Yeah, no.
Chilling. All right.
Just chilling. You know, there's a bunch of concerts coming up. Yeah, so if I could just get, you know, $20 on Pump 11, that'd be great. You know.
You already paid like an hour ago.
Oh wait, what? Oh wait, I'm holding all this stuff, and oh no, I must have huffed it all before I could put it in my car. Unfortunately. Oh no. All right. Well, I'm gonna, you know, yeah. Well, I'll see you next time. I'll come back tomorrow. Absolutely. All right.
I love you, dude.
I love you too. You're the best. This is the best gas station.